This is the Bob Pinedo Prize is awarded by the Society for Translational Oncology each year. This is now its sixth year, and indeed we have several of the previous recipients here, Joe Bertino and Bruce Chabner. And it's awarded to an individual who's produced notable advances in cancer patient care or translational research, and who is a practicing physician and oncologist entrusted with the compassionate care of patients. It's actually given in the name of Bob Pinedo, and unfortunately Bob could not be here today. He sends his deep apologies and regret, particularly to our recipient, because he's had a major illness in the family that's kept him at home. But it's given in his name in recognition of his pioneering work in oncology, particularly in Europe, but also globally, and also his distinction and outstanding contribution as a compassionate oncologist. On behalf of my colleagues on the selection committee, it's a real pleasure to award the Pinedo Prize to this year's recipient, Gabe Hortobágyi, who's known well to all of you, I'm sure, in the room. Gabe chairs the Department of Breast Medical Oncology and the Breast Cancer Research Program at the University of Texas, MD Anderson, where he also serves as Professor of Medicine and holds the Nellie B. Connolly Chair in Breast Cancer. Gabe's contributions to cancer research, and in particular to the field of breast cancer treatment, have been legendary over many, many years, going back to combination chemotherapy and more recently to the development of targeted therapies in combination with chemotherapy and indeed on their own for all stages of breast cancer. Gabe has been an international leader now for a long time in the area of breast cancer, has contributed over 800 articles to scientific journals and co-authored 13 books, and contributed over 130 chapters to textbooks, which actually gives you some sense of his contribution to the world literature in breast cancer and leadership in that. For these efforts, he's already been recognized globally with a number of worldwide honors, including the Brinker Award back in 1999, the Chevalier Order, la Légion d'honneur de France, which was presented to him in 2001. And in 2003, he was awarded the Glenn Roberts Award in Breast Cancer Research from the New York Cancer Society. And also, he was awarded the Bristol Myers Squibb 2003 Horizon Scientific Award. And also the Mexican Society of Oncology named him in 2005 as the world leader in oncology. Gabe has served on many, many cancer boards, both in the United States and globally. I suppose his greatest accolade in terms of service has been his election and time of service as president of the American Society for Clinical Oncology in 2006-07. He chairs the Breast Cancer Committee for SWOG, as well as the Data Safety Monitoring Committee for NSABP, as well as many other committees, both NCI, MD Anderson, and internationally. Gabe is an outstanding clinician and international cancer leader. He has dedicated his life to cancer patients and the improvement of treatment of cancer patients, particularly breast cancer patients across the globe. Gabe, it is an honor for STO to award you the Pinedo Prize for 2011.
Thank you, Patty, for the beautiful introduction, and to you and the rest of the organizers for the kind invitation to visit Belfast and participate in this outstanding meeting. To my colleagues in the STO, my undying gratitude. There's no greater honor than to be recognized by one's peers, and especially such a distinguished group of individuals. I've enjoyed working with you and look forward to working with you for many more years. Let me start by talking about Bob Pinedo. Bob and I have been friends for probably longer than he would care to admit. So when I heard about my selection for this award, I said I needed to investigate a little bit more about this. And I'm a medical oncologist by training, and one of my hobbies is genealogy. So I said there must be something in the genetic background of Bob Pinedo that explains his accomplishments and his astounding leadership. And this is a very brief summary of some of his accomplishments. But being a scientist, I went to the Bible of genealogy and other scientific investigation, Google. So the Pinedo name started in the Middle Ages, going back to the year 804. And there's a little town somewhere between Castilla and the Basque country that is called Pinedo. And it is derived from pine, the Spanish word for pine. And the third bullet tells you the multiple variations. And I just realized that the newly anointed president of my institution is probably related to Bob, according to that. So we don't know if Bob's background is Spanish or Basque, but we know that a line of Pinedos from Amsterdam settled in Curacao in the early 1700s, and there has to be a line that goes directly to those. There are many, many famous Pinedos, and on the top of this slide I show you the crest, both the old and the most recent form of the Pinedo family crest. So there has been a Pinedo that was recognized in 1527 in Voyagers of America, I'm sure a text well known to all of you who read it nightly. There were Spanish explorers and cartographers among the Pinedos, conquistadores. There's a Spanish actor and theater company manager in the 1500s. There was a Portuguese scholar who was persecuted by the Inquisition and fled to Holland. I suspect there is a line there too. There was a Jesuit missionary. I doubt that that leads directly to Bob. There was the governor of Paraguay and the founder of Concepcion, the capital of Paraguay. There was the Marqués de Miraflores, who was a politician, diplomat, and historian in the 18th century. And of course, there's more. There was a famous chef in the late 1800s who wrote one of the classics of Spanish cooking. There was a French sculptor, also by the name of Pinedo, an Italian aviator, the Black King, a leader of Afro-Bolivians, I suspect not related directly to Bob, but who knows. There's a Colombian singer, actor, and composer who's called Pinedo, a Mexican actor, and there is, on Wall Street, an attorney of securities and derivatives. There's also a Bolivian football midfielder. So you take your pick. I am still working on the genealogy. And of course, there's the one and only Bob Pinedo, head of the faculty at Free University of Amsterdam. He's truly a leader, a thought leader, someone who is an outstanding physician and who has contributed much to the development of new drugs in our field. And I'm eternally indebted for receiving this prize developed in his name.